So good morning to everyone. So calculate the shear stress for a T section. So let us see the geometry of the T section. It's a flange width 120 and depth 20. The overall depth of the T section is 160 and the web depth is 140 as shown in figure, and its web thickness is 20. So here initially we have to calculate the centroid. The first step is calculation of centroid for locating the neutral axis. So calculation of CZ. Why we have to calculate the CZ? To know the position of the neutral axis. For that, since it is symmetric about the y-axis, the centroid lies on the y-axis. Therefore, y bar is equal to a1 y1 plus a2 y2 divided by a1 plus a2. So what about the, so since initially it is divided into or split up into two rectangular parts. One is say as rectangle of dimension 120 by 20 and the second one is a rectangle of dimensions 20 by 140. So these are the dimensions of the two rectangles. So just I would like to measure the centroid. So with respect to the top of the flange, say let us say this is the XX. So this is element 1 of its centroid, say as G1. This is the element 2 of centroid G2. So simply this is becomes Y1. So then it becomes Y2. This is Y2. Therefore, finally, what about the A1? So then A1 is equal to area of the flange, that is the rectangle one of dimensions 120 into 20. Then what about the Y1? Y1 very simple. So that is equal to 20 by 2. Y1 is equal to 20 by 2. So then what about the A2? A2 is equal to 20 into 140 and Y2 is equal to, that is 20 plus 140 by 2, that is equal to 20 plus 140 by 2. So it is, what about that, 70 plus 20, that is equal to 90. So substitute all these values in equation number 1. So therefore y bar is equal to, so 120 into 20 into 10 plus 20 into 140 into 90 whole divided by, so 120 into 20 plus 20 into 140. After computing this value, finally, so the centroid from the top end is 53.08 mm. So this is y bar. So simply just mark the centroidal axis. So 53 point. So let us see, this is the centroid of the T section. So let's draw an axis passing through the centroid labeled as NA, that is neutral axis. Why we have to identify the neutral axis? The shear stress of a T section is maximum at the neutral axis, and then the quantity of A y bar and for the flange and the quantity of A y bar for the web is measured from the neutral axis. This is the first step. So let us see, next step is the calculation of, so calculation of moment of inertia I about neutral axis. Moment of inertia about neutral axis. I think that, suppose if you draw the axis passing through the G1 labeled as x1, I think that this is passing the centroid of the elemental area of 120 by 20. So it is parallel to the neutral axis. So by applying the parallel axis theorem, you can find out the moment of inertia of this area about this axis. Then similarly you can find out the, so this is as axis of the second element passing through the centroid. Again these two are parallel to each other. So one of the axis passing through the centroid of the rectangle of dimensions 20 by 140. So we can apply the parallel axis. By using the parallel axis theorem, you can find out the moment of inertia of the T section about the neutral axis. So simply, therefore, it means that is equal to, so moment of inertia of flange plus moment of inertia of web about neutral axis. About neutral axis. This is the fundamental one. So therefore, what about the moment of inertia by using the parallel axis theorem? So moment of inertia of this rectangle, say about the neutral axis Ixx1 bar plus A1 into the perpendicular distance between these two assumed as H1, say H1 square plus, so what about the moment of inertia of this rectangle about this axis, as this is x2, that is Ix2 bar plus A2 into H2 whole square if it is assumed as H2. So finally the numericals, what about that? That is equal to, so 120, that is for basically it is B. Finally that becomes 120 into depth of this one is BD cube by 12 plus, what about the area of the first rectangle? We know that 120 into 20. What about the H1? H1 becomes, we know the central distance. What about the central distance? That is 53 minus 10. So that is 53.08 minus 10 whole square plus, so what about the moment of inertia of the web about the central axis? 20 into 140 whole cube by 12 plus 20 into 140. Again, what about the central distance? So we know that that is 53. So simply that becomes y1, we know that y 90, that is equal to h2 is equal to, simply that is into, so 90 minus 53.08 whole square. After substituting all these values, finally the moment of inertia of T section about neutral axis is 12.924 into 10 to the power of 6 mm power 4. I think that we know all the values. So this is say as, and B is equal to 20. We know the an equation for determining the shear stress, tau is equal to F into, what about the shear formula, F into A y bar divided by I into B. I think that the shear stress in the flange at the junction of the flange, or that is, what about that? We know the F value, we know the AY bar value and IB value. So by substituting all these values, you can find out the moment of inertia at the respective positions. So a cast iron bracket of I section has its top flange as 200 mm by 40 mm. So bottom flange as 120 by 40 mm and the web as 300 by 40 mm. The overall depth of the section is 380. So from the geometry, the bracket is subjected to bending if the maximum tensile stress in the top flange is not to exceed 15 megapascals. Determine the bending moment M. Determine the bending moment M. Yes, determine the bending moment M. If the beam is subjected to a shear force of 150 Newton, sketch the shear stress distribution over the depth of the section. So this is the problem given. Here it is not symmetric about both the axes. So we have to locate the centroid for showing the neutral axis. So for that, let us consider a reference line at the top of the I section, say as X. Alright. So this I section is divided into three regular shapes. Say this is the rectangle 1, this is rectangle 2, say this is rectangle 3. The centroid of all the elements, say as G1, say for example G2, this is G3, right? So what about the centroidal distance from the section XX, which is taken from the top flange or top edge of the I section E y bar? It means to show the neutral axis for determining the shear stress about the neutral axis, initially we have to calculate the CZ, calculate the centroid. So for that, let us see, it is divided into three regular shapes. The centroid y bar, because it is symmetric about the y axis. Since it is symmetric about the y axis, the centroid lies on the y axis only. There is no x bar. See, since it is divided into three equal parts, three regular shapes, it becomes a1 y1 plus a2 y2 plus a3 y3 by a1 plus a2 plus a3. This is the first step. So now, represent the y1 from the chosen coordinate axis. This is the y1. So no doubt about it becomes, so y2, this is y2, then this becomes y3, it is y3, this is y3, this is y3. So from the geometry we can say all the values. One is, say, let us consider the first rectangle of dimensions 200 by 40. So A1 is equal to 200 into 40. Then Y1 is that is 40 by 2. Next, coming to the second one. What about the second one? Second elemental area A2 is, what about the base of this one? 40 into, what about the depth of this rectangle? 300. Then Y2 is, so this is equal to 20. Y2 is equal to 40 plus 300 by 2. So that is equal, simply it becomes 190. 150 plus 40, 190. That is the Y2. Now, what about the A3? A3 is equal to, we know the dimensions of the third rectangle of base 120 and its depth is 40. It is 120 into 40. Y3 becomes 40 plus 300 plus 40 by 2. So that is the Y3 value. So therefore Y3 becomes 340 plus 20, that is 360. We know all the values, substitute all these values. Finally the y bar becomes y bar is equal, therefore y bar is equal, whatever the y bar, 168.1 mm. This is the first part in this problem. So simply locate the centroid of the Ti section, that is capital G. Its value is calculated from the geometry y bar is equal to 168.1. We know that. Then go for the next one is the calculation of I. Calculation of moment of inertia I about neutral axis. Then calculate the moment of inertia. What about the moment of inertia? So as we know that moment of inertia is equal. So moment of inertia of upper planche plus moment of inertia of web plus moment of inertia of lower flange about neutral axis. This is very, very important one. So for that, so this is the neutral axis, say as NA. This is the neutral axis. What we have to do? So I think that this is the central axis passing to the first elemental one, say as x1. This is the centroid of the second element, say as x2. This is the central axis of the third element, say as x3. I think that all these three axes are parallel to the neutral axis. So then the NA is non-central axis to the first, second and third elemental central axis. So you can use the parallel axis theorem. By using the parallel axis theorem, you can find out the moment of inertia of the first elemental area about NA. Similarly, moment of inertia of the second elemental area about the NA, and then moment of inertia of the third elemental area about NA. So mathematically, so by using that, say this is first one is moment of inertia of upper flange, say this is 1, say this is 1, upper flange about NA. It means Ixx bar of 1 plus A1, say the perpendicular distance assumed as h1 square. So mathematically, what about the moment of inertia of the first rectangle about the central axis? 200 into 40 whole cube by 12 plus, so 200 into 40. What about h1? We know the centroidal distance. What about this? So this is the one. So what about that value? We know the y bar minus this can be rewritten as Ixx bar of 1 plus A1 into h1 is y bar minus y1. So it is, what about the y bar? Y bar is already calculated, 168.1 minus 20 whole square. Similarly, moment of inertia of web about neutral axis. So what about its value? Its value finally, what about the base? 40 into 300 cube by 12 plus 40 into 300 into, say as, so the perpendicular distance is, this is h2. h2 is simply y bar minus y2. y2 you know that is 190. So 190 minus 168.1 whole square. Then finally the moment of inertia of lower planche. Moment of inertia of lower planche. So what about the moment of inertia of the lower planche? Again, that is equal to 120 into 40 cube by 12 plus 120 into 120, then so y3 minus y bar. What about y3? That is 360 minus y bar is 168 point whole square. Substituting all these values simply in the equation number 2. Equation number 2. Finally, the moment of inertia of entire section is 9.7 into 10 to the power 6 mm power 4. What we calculated? So we calculated y bar and I. So then you have to calculate the moment m by using the bending moment equation. Then you can find out the shear stress at any position along with the depth. Calculate the bending moment. Bending moment of the section. So we know that m by I is equal to stress by y is equal to E by R, say equation number 1. From this equation, m by I is equal to stress by y. So this can be rewritten as m is equal to I into sigma by y. You know all the values, that is I is substitute all these values, therefore m is equal to, what about the I? So 449.7 into 10 to the power 6 into, already we know the stress, that is, what about the stress? 15 megapascals. So divided by, what about the y? Here y bar is equal to y bar, that is equal to 168.1. 168.1. Finally, that is 40.12 kilonewton meters. That is the first one. Next, let us calculate the shear stress along the depth of the beam. Now calculate the shear stress. Shear stress. So initially the shear stress in the upper flange, at the junction with the web, say this is the shear stress in upper flange. So we know that shear stress tau is equal to F into A y bar by I into B. Here we know the F value, I value. So B is 200 and coming to the A y bar, A is 200 by 40. What about the y bar? This is very, very important. So what about the y bar? So let us see, that is equal to 15 into kilonewtons, that is equal to shear force F is equal to 15 megapascals, that is equal to 150 into 10 cube, that means. Then what about the A? Area of this flange, it is 200 into 40. So into, what about the y bar? So y bar is, we know the centered distance from the neutral axis. The y bar is always measured from the neutral axis to the center of the element, that is flange. It means, so we have to calculate this portion. It means So the distance from the top of the flange is 168. So and the distance from the top of the flange to the central axis of the first element is 20. It means 168 minus 20. That is very important. It means here the y bar should be taken as this is the y bar for the flange. Keep it in mind, that is equal 168.1 minus 20. That is the one case. So as usually I is known, that is 449.7 into 10 to the power of 6. And what about the B? We know that here B is width of the flange, that is 200 into 200. Finally, the shear stress in the flange becomes or is 1.7976 megapascals. So this is the one solution. Now coming to the, as we know that the shear stress in the web at the junction, so it means in web at the junction with the upper flange. So the shear stress at this particular position, the shear stress, it means in web at the junction, in web at the junction with upper flange, with upper flange. So I think that's just we have to calculate the shear stress in this position. So already we derived the formula. Shear stress at the web becomes, what about that? The average shear stress, that is the shear stress in the flange into capital B by small b. We know that. So already we calculate the shear stress in the flange, that is equal to 1.976 into, what about the capital B, that is 200. What about the small b, that is the 40. So finally the stress at the junction or in the at the top of the web with the bottom of the flange is, so 9.88 megapascals. So this is the second value. Then the shear stress at the neutral axis. Next, at neutral axis. So the shear stress, no doubt at all, is maximum at the neutral axis. Finally, tau is equal to, what about that? Shear force into, so Ay bar for flange, that means upper flange, plus what about that? Ay bar for web plus Ay bar for lower flange. So finally the value becomes, what about that value? Therefore shear stress tau is equal to, so 150 into whole divided by I into B, whole divided by I into B. We know the I value. Here what about the B value? So that is 120. So finally 150 into 10 cube plus, so Ay bar for the upper flange, area of the upper flange is, so 200 into 40. What about the y bar? That is the centroidal distance from the neutral axis to the centroid of the flange. There is known value, that is 148.1 into 148.1 plus, so coming to the next area of the second element, that is the rectangle, that is 40 into 300. What about the y bar? So y bar is the centroidal distance from the neutral axis to the centroid of this one. that is also finally, so 128.1, that is equal. So what about that value? So simply 40 into, what about the y bar? Y bar is equal from this. So we know that from the neutral axis, we know the y bar 168 minus y2 is 40 plus 190. 168 minus 190, that is 168 minus 190. So, and what about this is y bar plus what about that? Finally, the area of the third rectangle is 120 into 40 into, so what about the centroidal distance from the neutral axis to this? That is, say as y3 minus, that is equal to y3 is 380 minus 2360 minus 168.1 divided by, we know the moment of inertia, that is 449.7 into 10 to the power of 6 into 120. So finally, after computing all these values, the shear stress in the neutral axis is, at the neutral axis, 12.617 megapascals. Similarly, we can find out the shear stress in the lower flange. So that is shear stress in the lower flange by using the similar procedure, it is 2.56. So in the lower flange. So, and then you can find out the shear stress at the junction of the lower flange. It becomes, so TW into capital B by small b. So that is equal 2.56 into, here we have to consider this is the capital B, this is the small b, that is 120 divided by 40. This is called 7.68. So we know all the values. This is the shear stress at the junction. We know all the values. It means we know the shear stress at the top of the flange, upper flange, and at the junction of the Weber flange, and similarly at the neutral axis, and we know the at lower end of the lower flange or bottom flange and junction. So from these values you can plot the graph. This is the way to calculate the moment of a bending moment of the section due to a certain force acting on the I section, so tangentially. So this is the procedure to calculate and plot the graph or plot the shear stress distribution for the I section which is unsymmetrical about the x-axis. Let us see the some more examples in the next class. Thank you.